Uh, Good afternoon, dear learners. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, welcome to the third session on the fundamental of C lab. And the topic we are going to discuss about the conditional statements. In last session also, we have introduced the conditional statements, but that since the topic is extensive, so we are going to have one more session dedicated to this topic. Conditional statements, we have written certain programs, and I have told what are conditional statements, but let we will revise them first. So before we begin, the guidelines, as you are all aware, is to make this session more interactive, is to maintain discipline for smooth conductance of the interactive live session. All the learners are required to type in their name with enrollment number and program name on the chat so as to mark their attendance. Then you can raise your queries at the end of the session and avoid posting irrelevant questions in between. You can ask questions during the session, but I'll be able to reply them only at the end. Okay, so coming to the agenda for today's session. We have already started the conditional statement as a topic, and we have discussed certain examples for if statement and if else statement. So in the conditional statements, as I have told that they are used for making decisions based on evaluation of a logical statement. And this logical statement is enclosed inside round brackets or parentheses. And then we write certain statements which are put in a block. So if there are multiple statements, we are required to put them in a block of curly braces. So inside the curly braces, multiple statements can be executed when the condition is true. That is in the case of if statement. Okay. So the syntax for writing if statement is you write the keyword if and you put your condition here in the parenthesis, and then for writing multiple statements you open a block with curly braces, and all the statements which you would want to execute, they have to be written inside this block. That is called if statement. So this condition, if it is true, only then these statements will be executed. But if condition is false, this entire block will be bypassed by the compiler, and subsequent statements after this will be executed. Okay, I am only discussing if statement, not if else. So in case of if only if statement, the condition has to be checked for its truthfulness. If the condition is true, then only the statement will be executed. So let's say this condition is true. So what will happen? The statements written inside this curly brace will be executed, no doubt. And all the statements after that will also be executed. But if this condition is false, then the compiler will bypass this entire if block, and the control will come to the statements immediately following the if block. Right? So this is how if statement works. How this condition will be written? This condition will return only Boolean values. What are Boolean values? Either true or false. So they are logical expressions. So these conditions are nothing but logical expressions. Logical expression means which are based on comparison, relation, or logical operators. So we can have comparison. For example, comparison, we use operators called the relational operators. So relational operators are what? Greater than, less than, okay, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, not equal to, and is equal to. So these are the 6 relational operators. Okay, then we have got logical operators. Logical operators require logical operations. What are logical operations? And. So this is and. Okay. This pipe symbol, double pipe, is called OR. Okay, then we have got NOT. So for NOT, we use this exclamatory sign. Okay, so these are the three basic logical operations which we can perform between different expressions. Okay, so and all the numbers, if you write the numbers in bracket, they are always true. All the constants that you write, numeric constants, they are all true. Okay, so this is what we mean by when we say the condition. Okay, then students are writing question mark. What is question mark? Ternary operator. I haven't told ternary operator till now. Okay, this question mark students are writing. Question mark about what? Could you please elaborate who is writing question mark in chat? What do you mean by question mark? Divya Jyoti and Om Anil, they are writing question mark. I want to know about what question mark you are asking. If you are not able to understand, you can ask. But writing question mark does not mean anything. For me, question mark is ternary operator. Okay, that is what we mean by question mark. But ternary operator doesn't is only question mark. It is question mark and colon. That is ternary operator. Okay, but I haven't discussed ternary operator till now. All right. So if statement only bothers about the trueness of the condition, the truthfulness of the condition. But why students are asking about ternary operator? I haven't taught ternary operator till now. When I will teach, then you ask. Okay. And why it is null or not null means what? I haven't taught. Please don't confuse yourselves as well as others. Okay. Study what I'm teaching. If you have got extra questions, apart from what I teach, you can ask it at the end. Okay, so far I will only appreciate questions which for the topics which everyone has understood in my session. Right? So here we have got if statement, then we have got if else. Right? So moving on with this slide, I have already taught if, then we have done questions on if condition, then we have got if else. So inside if else, this else part does not need to have any condition because the condition has already been checked above. Okay, the condition has already been checked above, so we don't write condition here. We simply write the statements for which this condition became false. The statement which we want to execute when the condition is found as false. At the flowchart level, we have discussed a symbol called diamond box or decision box. So inside decision box, we write all the conditions. Okay, so I guess you have already done the programmatic assignments which I gave in the last session. We have also discussed if else if ladder, where we were calculating the like isosceles triangle or scalene triangle, equilateral triangle. This example we have already done in the last lab session. Okay, we were trying to find out the whether the given according to the given sides, whether the triangle was isosceles, scalene, or equilateral. Okay. So coming back to the other conditional operators, this three numbers also. For the three numbers, we have used this logical operators. So here the logical operators here is this is called AND. Okay, this is called AND operator. In last example also we have used logical operators. What logical operators we have used here? So this is AND. right? This is AND. So in AND operation, both the conditions have to be true. So this will give true only when both these conditions are true. This is called logical OR. So this is called logical OR. So here OR means either one of these conditions is true. So either this is true, or this is true, or this condition is true. If either one of these three conditions are true, then only this particular expression will return a true value. So this is OR condition. Otherwise, if all these three conditions are false, what will happen? If this is false, this is also false, then it will automatically go in the last else part. So else part doesn't evaluate any condition. In else part, this is the else, because if you are in this block and if this is false, you will go here in this else block. Okay. So this is what we have done till the last lab session. So here we have to see an example of grade calculation using if-else if let. So here we have decided that the values for which the grades can be calculated. Let's say there are three subjects, sub 1, sub 2, and sub 3, and after that we have to calculate average marks of these three subjects, on the basis of which we will calculate the grade. Okay, so if the average marks are greater than equal to 90, then the grade value is A. So we are assigning a character value. How it is a character value? Because it is enclosed in single quote marks. Else if, so if the average is greater than equal to 80, then the grade is B. If the average is greater than equal to 70, grade is C. If the average is greater than equal to 60, the grade is D. Else the grade is E. So on the basis of these grades, we can on the basis of these average values, we can calculate grade marks. Okay, so this example we will do today. Then another example that we are going to do today is the quadratic equation roots. Okay, so inside the quadratic equation roots, what we are going to do? First of all, we are going to have a equation. So let's say the equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is your quadratic equation. What are the coefficients a, b, and c? How do you calculate roots of this equation? So roots you calculate on the basis of discriminant. Discriminant is a value which is what? B square minus 4ac. That is discriminant. Okay. Upon this value of this discriminant, so discriminant can have three categories of values. So this discriminant d can be either greater than 0, discriminant d can be equal to 0, and discriminant d can be less than 0. If discriminant is greater than 0, it means b square minus 4ac is greater than 0. Then what are the roots? So we are having real and unequal roots. What are real and unequal roots? That is minus b plus under root d divided by 2a. This is first root. And what is the second root? Minus b minus under root d upon 2a. That is another root. Okay. What will happen if d is equal to 0? We will have real and equal roots. So what are real and equal roots? So in this case, b square will be equal to 4ac, right? B square will be equal to 4ac. So discriminant will be b square minus 4ac equal to 0. So what will happen with this under root d? So it will be minus b upon 2a. So you will have real and equal roots, minus b upon 2a. Both the roots will be minus b and upon 2a. But if d is less than 0, that is this last else block. So we are having one if block. Inside if block, we are checking the condition if d is greater than 0. Then we will have we will have to calculate both these real and unequal roots. And then we are using a mathematical function called sqrt. So sqrt comes from a library called math.h. So this is an inbuilt function which we are using from library math.h. Okay, so now you must have noticed this formatting here, percent point to LF. So what is LF here? LF is a long float. Long float means a value which has got a large number of precision values. But here we are only entertaining two decimal places after two precision values after decimal point. So that is why we are writing percent point two. So point two means after decimal point, we are only entertaining two precision values only. Right. So that is what we mean by percent point to L. If you don't put this point to, what will happen? It will print the entire decimal values, all the precision, exact value, accurate value, not rounded off. So it will be rounded off to only two decimal places. That is called percent point to F, point to LF. Okay. LF is for double. So LF is a format specifier for double values. Since we are using double values, all these coefficients, discriminant, roots, all are of double type. So that is why we are using this format specifier LF. So LF is a format specifier for data type double. Okay. Hopefully you are able to understand this. Now, coming to when this discriminant is less than 0, what will happen? In that case, we will have real and imaginary roots. So the real part will be minus b by 2a. But imaginary part will be what? Under root of minus discriminant divided by 2a. So it will be minus b upon 2a plus minus under root minus d upon 2a. So when you calculate square root of a negative value, you will get imaginary value. So square root of a negative value will give you an imaginary value. So you will have to have an iota sign, j sign as complex value. Okay, so here after writing percent point to LF, I'll be writing here an iota sign. So this I here is for iota, which we are putting for imaginary part. So this imaginary part will be concatenated in this string. So this plus we are going to put here. So this part is real part, percent point to LF, this is real part, and percent point to LFI is imaginary part. Okay. So we are going to print all these real and imaginary roots. Okay. So these two examples we are going to do. Right? Is it clear? So now we will move to the programming part. So here, can you see the coding screen? The code block screen, can you see? Hopefully you can see the code block screen here. So we are going to create a new file. Okay, a source file. So let's say exp3. So we are going to write a grade calculation program. So include stdio.h. Then what we will do now? We are going to take marks of 3 subjects. So here, let's declare a main function here. So inside main function, what we will do? We will declare marks of 3 subjects. Let's say sub 1, sub 2, sub 3. Okay. Then we will calculate average. So average is float value and grade is character value. Okay. So now we are going to ask the user to enter marks of 3 subjects. Printf enter marks of all three subjects. So in this scanf, %d, 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 and ampersand sub1, ampersand sub2, ampersand sub3. Now we are going to calculate average. So what is average? Average is what? This is what average is. So now if the average is greater than equal to 90, okay, then what will happen? Grade is equal to, we'll write grade at the end. Okay. So if average is greater than equal to 90, grade will be equal to A. Okay. Then else if average marks are greater than equal to 80, what will happen to grade? Grade will be equal to B. Then else if average is greater than equal to 70, grade is C. Else if average is greater than equal to 60, grade is D. Then else what? Grade is E. Okay. So we will come out of this else if situation, and then we will print the final grade. So printf /n, your grade is %C. Since it is a character, so we will write here grade. Okay, return 0. So this is called else if ladder. Okay, this program structure is called if else if ladder. So let's try to run this code. So can you see the output window? So this is the output window that we are getting. This, I think you are like attending this session for the first time. I have told this several times about format specifier. In format specifier, there are different types of data types for which we use different type of format specifier. %d is for integer. Okay. It's a format specifier. It is predefined in the C language that it is necessary to put %d for integer, %f for float, %c for character, %lf for double. Okay, apart from that, %s is for string, which is a character array. So these are all different format specifiers I have already taught in the last lab session, right? Okay, so here we are going to put marks of three subjects, let's say 25, 25, 25. Okay, so it is saying your grade is E. One, I'd like to rephrase this sentence, Tanzil. This printf statement is called formatted input statement or formatted output statement. So printf and scanf both are formatted. That is why we specify the format. So format specifier will only be used when you are using formatted input output statements, formatted input output functions. So when you are using formatted input output functions, now it is necessary to specify which type of data type you will have to include in the function. So for this, we use format specifier. So if you want to input an integer value, or if you want to display an integer value, you have to specify what type of input string or what or how you will phrase the output. So that is why we put format specifier. Okay, so there are two types of input output functions, formatted functions and unformatted functions. So what are unformatted functions? For example, get ch, put s, get s, okay, put c. These are all unformatted input output functions. Right now, we are only focusing on formatted input output functions, which are printf and scanf. Okay, so in such functions, it is necessary to specify the format of the statement or the format of the variable which you want to either store or retrieve. Okay, so we use %d, %f, %lf, %c, %s, right, for different for their respective data types. Okay, so this is the output that I am getting. Okay, so you can try it at your level, this program. So I will copy this code and put it on chat. Try it at your level. See if it works at your end. Please let me know if you have tried it and it is working. Shani, is your answer, you are able to understand what you asked? I think I've answered it. Okay, it's working, it's fine. Try it with different subject values, see if it is working. Okay, so students are verifying that it is working. Yes, grade is E. Yes. Try with higher values, see if you can get higher values. Try for 80, 90s and other values. Here we are assuming that the marks are out of 100. Okay. So we are directly using average as percentage. We use float average inside of if else. Float average, no. Once you declare the data type, you have to only declare data type once. Every time you cannot declare. Declaration is only done once. You don't declare each and every time. Once you declare the data type of the variable, it is fixed. That only float type values are expected in this case. Okay, every time you don't have to declare. So this is called declaration. This step is called declaration. So in declaration, how do we declare variables? First, we mention the data type. First, we mention the data type here. and then we write the name of identifier. Okay, and then we put semicolon. So this is the generic format of declaration type statement. Here I have not assigned values. So assignment is not done here. So this is assignment. Okay. So assignment is done by using equal to sign. Okay. So this is declaration statement and this is assignment statement. Although you can do declaration and assignment in one single statement. Every time you don't have to declare. But assignment can be done multiple times. Can be done multiple times. But declaration done only once. Okay. So let's hop on to another experiment now for finding out roots of quadratic equation. Okay. Someone was asking name of editor. The name of editor is CodeBlocks. And students can also use VS Code or Turbo-C editor. No problem with that. Okay, CodeBlocks is open source, so you can use it. Okay, now we are using yes, the scope is there. The scope means from where you can access. From where you can access. So there can be a global scope, it can be local scope, it can be method level scope. Yes. Scopes are there. Scope of a variable. Okay, so there are global variables and local variables. Local variables are also known as block level variables. So that is in C only. That is in C also. Coming to so whatever variables we declare inside the function, let's say for example, we declare here inside the main function, these all variables are method level variables, or we can say as local variables. Okay, it is also possible to create local variables or block level variables. So if you open a block like this inside this statement, so here inside this you can also have block level variables. So as soon as you open a block, it is you can create any block level variable. Okay, above main here you can declare global variables. So here you can declare global variables. I have already declared structure of C language, C program. So there I have mentioned about global variables and local variables. So these are called scope. Okay. So coming back to the quadratic equation example. So here we are trying to calculate the root of quadratic equations. So here I am using two header files. First is stdio.h and second is math.h. So why we are using math.h? Because we will be calculating the square root. Okay. So here first of all we have to create the coefficients a, b, c and discriminant root 1, root 2 and real and imaginary roots. So here we will be inside the main function. So let's open main function. Inside the main function, we have to declare double variables, double values. Double means double precision. The format specified for double is %lf, that is long float. Okay, so here we will be having quadratic equation coefficients a, b, and c. And then we will have root 1, root 2. But before that, we have to calculate discriminant. So discriminant, root 1, root 2. Okay, then real, imaginary, these all values we will have. So now what we will do, we will ask the user to enter coefficients. So printf enter coefficients of quadratic equation scanf. So inside the scanf, we will, since it is double, so we will have %lf, %lf, %lf 3 times, and we will store them in A, B, and C. Okay. Now we will calculate discriminant. So what is discriminant? Discriminant is B square, that is B into B minus 4AC, that is 4 into A into C. So this is how we calculate the discriminant. Once you calculate discriminant, now you have to check whether discriminant is greater than 0, equal to 0, or less than 0. So now you will open if condition. If the discriminant is greater than 0. So what will happen if the discriminant is greater than 0? You will have to calculate roots. So first root will be equal to minus b plus under root of d. So that is minus b plus, for a square root, we will be using sqrt function, square root of d. And this all value will be divided by 2 into a. So 2 into a. Okay, minus b plus under root d divided by 2 into a. And what about root 2? It will be minus b minus square root of d under root, divided by 2 into a, right? So this is root 2. Now what we will do, we will print all these roots. So we'll write printf root 1. First of all, can we write roots are real and unequal? Roots are real and unequal. Printf root 1. So what is root 1? Root 1 percent lf, that is root 1. This is root 1. And another root is root 2. So this is the second root, right? Then what? Else if. So the next condition will be discriminant is equal to 0. So if discriminant is equal to 0, what do you plan to do? So your roots will be real and equal. Okay. So I'm going to copy paste this entire thing, but it will be minus b divided by 2a, both roots, right? Root 1 and root 2. Both will be same. So we can use this chain assignment. So root 1 is equal to root 2 is equal to minus b divided by 2a. So what are roots? Roots are real and equal. So either root 1, both roots are, so these are the roots. So both are equal roots, root 1 and root 2. Or you can put twice the same value. Okay. Now what is your plan next? if this discriminant is less than 0. Do I need to put another condition else if? No, I will simply go with else part. In that case, what will be your root? So you will have real part. So here real part will be what? Minus b by 2a. That is your real part. So real part will be minus b by 2a. What about imaginary part? How do you calculate imaginary part? It is square root of minus discriminant divided by 2a. So square root of minus discriminant divided by 2 into a. Is it right? This is your imaginary part, but you are going to concatenate it. The first root will be what? The first root will be real plus imaginary. Okay. So instead of writing like this, I prefer to write roots are imaginary. So imaginary roots, what will be imaginary roots? So root 1 will be percent %LF. So is it necessary to mention that only two places of decimal value will be entertained? So every time we'll have %2, 0.2. Okay, every time I will put 0.2 so that I don't get too much these precision values. So 0.2 LF plus 0.2% LFI. And this time we are going to add real and imaginary. Okay, so this will be the first root. What about second root? Second root will be like this, minus. Okay, so real plus imaginary part and real minus imaginary part. These will be the values. Okay, that's it. So at the end, we will return 0. Okay. So yes, I hope you have written this code yourself. Good. Okay. So let's try to run this code, see if it is working. Uh, so what is D declared first use in this function? Okay, it is disk. So we are supposed to use disk here, not D. Okay. So it is discriminant. Right. So it is not square root of disk. Good. Now what? Okay. So here I will be sharing quadratic equation coefficients. So you suggest any quadratic equation for which the values are real. Let's say I enter 2, 3, 4. So in that case, roots are imaginary. So in this case, roots are imaginary. So it is writing 0.2. Some issues there. It is writing 0.2 LF. Wait a second. 0.2 LF. percent 0.2 LF. Okay. Oh, I've written this percent 0.2 LF. I should write it like this. Percent 0.2 LF. I have written 0.2% LF. That is the mistake. Okay. We will restart this. So what is the change that I have done here? The change was here I wrote previously percent 0.2%, but it has to be percent 0.2. Then only it will have two decimal places after decimal point. Let me run it again. So what were the values I had to give? 2, 3, 4. So try this code at your end, see if it is working. See if it is working at your end. Try and give different values. I'll share this code with you. See if it is working. Okay. So did you try running this code? Did anyone try executing this code? Who has tried executing this code? Please let me know. See, I'm getting output like this. I'll show you the output. So I'm getting this output. So I've entered the quadratic equation as 2, 3, and 4. So it has calculated discriminant as b square minus 4ac. That is 3 square minus 2 into 4 into 2. That is 9 minus 16. So it is minus 7. So since minus 7 is less than 0, so it is calculating root as imaginary. Okay. Okay, so you have written 10, 20, and 30. Oh, Rahul has tried with 10, 20, and 30. So what is the discriminant value? 20 square minus 4 into 30 into 10. So it is 400 minus 1200. That is minus 800. Yes, you will get imaginary roots in this case. Okay, I hope students are trying, learners are trying. That's why they are writing it's working. Other students, there are 33 participants. Only 4 or 5 are trying. That is not okay. Others should also try. Or if there are facing issues, they may let me know. So coming back to the slideshow, we have done 2 examples. Then we have got nested if else. So in this case, nested if else, you can have this example here. So in this example, if you look at here in nested if else, so nesting means one if inside another if. So we are calculating largest value or largest based on nested if. So we are computing 5 with 4 and 3. So if 5 is greater than 4, we will check it with 3. So if 5 is greater than 4 and if 5 is greater than 3, we can say that the largest is A. But if 5 is greater than 4, but 3, if C is greater than A, it means C has already defeated B. So we can here conclude largest is C. Okay, and again here we are checking B is greater than C. So if B is greater than C, then the largest is B. So here for this, if this else is there. Okay. So inside this else also, this is also else is also nested. And if is also nested because there is an if else present inside an if, and there is an if else which is present inside else. So this is called nesting. Nesting means having one if else block another inside another if else block. So here we are checking for whether this B, which is larger, so B or C. Okay, so this is called nested if else. So we can do a quick program here using nested if else. So what we are going to do is we will ask we will have another question here. So or we can do this question only, find largest. So what we will do is we will take input of 3 numbers, int A, B, and C. Okay, we will ask the user to enter 3 numbers. Okay, scanf, %d, 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 3 values, and store them in %a, %b, and %c respectively. Now, if A is greater than B, so we are opening a if block here. And now we are checking if A is greater than C. So if A is greater than C, we can conclude that A is largest. Or we can write the value of A here. So %d is largest. And here we can print our A value. And else, what we can conclude? C is largest, right? So C is largest. So this if block has already given its value based on the competition between A and B. So, and now For this if, we can have an else. So inside an else, what we can do, we will compare now B with C. So since A is less than B, so obviously now we have to compare with B. So there are two comparisons available. So there is only one comparison available here, which is B greater than C. So if B is greater than C, print B as the largest. Okay, that's it. So let's run this code, see if it is able to find out the correct values. So let me share this screen with you. So it is asking me to enter three numbers, let's say 2, 3, 4. So it is printing 4 is the largest. So what it had done, first it had compared 2 and 3. So 2 was less than 3. So it went inside else. Okay. And then it compared 3 with 4. So since 3 was also less than 4, so it went into the else inside else. Okay. And it printed 4 as the largest. Okay. So you can try this program at your end, see if it is working. Okay. Coming back to the slide. Then there is switch case statement. So inside switch case statement, what do? We have a switch case block here. So first we test an expression, and for that expression, there can be multiple cases. Okay, in switch case. So what do? We have got a switch expression, and this on the basis of this expression, we calculate different cases. And these cases are written either as expressions or character values. And inside these cases, we have got multiple statements which we can execute. So inside these cases, we can have uh, multiple statements in every case. And after you finish executing a case, it is necessary to break. So break will take you out from this case, and it will terminate the entire switch case block. It will not terminate, will only take you out of the switch case block. So whatever expression you are evaluating here, it can have multiple cases. So in the first case, if this case value is equal to your expression, then you can if value 3 is equal to the value of expression, you can execute case 3. So after executing any of these cases, you have to break out. You have to come out of this switch case. Otherwise, if above none of these cases, apart from that, if the expression is other than the specific values above, so you will have to come to the default value. So default will execute this statement. Means if above the none of the cases are true for you, you can execute a default case. So default case, it will automatically be written at the end, and it will break. No need to write break here. Okay, because the default will be the last case that you can handle. Okay, so this is how switch case works. We will do the program on switch case in the next lab session. In this particular lab session, if you have got any difficulty, you can ask. Okay. So most of the students, most of the learners were executing programs. Yes, Shani, you want to ask some question? You have raised your hands. I cannot make you unmute, but you can type and ask your question. Yes, you're right. 55 is obviously the largest of all. Your answer is right. You will get questions similar to what we are trying to discuss here. Not so much difficult questions will be asked because we understand this is for first semester. So thank you and happy learning.